Good morning. We are now live for Future Heroes Inspirational Path. Welcome all participants and all of those of you who have joined us through social media. Future Heroes is a leadership and entrepreneurship program for girls with an aim to unlock their potential and create positive impact in the world. The participants will have 10 skills workshops throughout the whole Future Heroes season to boost their life skills, to test their strengths, and to be inspired by diverse role models, thought leaders, and change makers. Today, I'm really honored to present two well-known entrepreneurs and founders of successful businesses, Alise Dīrika and Andersone. Alise, now the floor is yours and you can kick off your speech.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to see you all. Happy to share my Saturday morning with you. Welcome to my bedroom. I see you all are from homes as well. So it's nice to be here connected, at least digitally. So I will share my screen now and I will share my story and my learnings. So I thought how to wrap my story and experience in a engaging, interesting way that would inspire you rather to do things that you do, not to be afraid, not to be locked in your own fear about things, what to do. So I want to share my story, how it was, how professional and personal growth path have unlocked for me. So I hope you will see it interesting, how what is the backstage of entrepreneurship and what it can grow into. So I will start with a few facts about myself. What do I do? What is my work? And a few milestones on my professional journey. So I will start with company that was mentioned in introduction. I co-founded a company called Infogram. That is a Latvian startup or tech company that was created 8 years ago here in Riga by 3 co-founders, one my university mate and other co-founder. So there were 3 of us starting a company that would help journalists to tell better stories with the data. So the product is infographics and charts creator on web, where journalists with the data or information can come, illustrate it, and get the story in more appealing way to their audience and readers. So our goal was to democratize the way how journalists do it. So we want these stories to be beautiful, easy to create and make. And back then, 8 years ago, there were no tools like that. People usually used charts on Excel and didn't visualize their stories. So that was our product. And what back then we thought is a way how we revolutionize ways how journalists speak to their audience happened to be a startup, and that's a company founding effort, not just a tool building effort. And I learned a ton from building a company product team and what is the process in general. So the product itself and the company grew into something that was used by 6 million users worldwide. So as I mentioned, it was built from Riga, but we had users all over the world. So mainly people from media, as I mentioned, education, business, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, using our product to connect with audiences better. And maybe some of the logos on the slide are familiar to you. So Transparency International is the NGO, LinkedIn maybe, Euronews, Fast Company. So the product got picked up by big names and logos that we recognize. So it was for Latvia, it was a success, and for our customers and products, those were everyday successes that we managed to deliver. So that's something that I'm really proud of. And another noteworthy fact is that 3 years ago, we sold the company. We merged our forces with Prezi. Maybe you can raise a hand for those who I see who knows what Prezi is. So few hands raised. So it's a presentation software used mainly by students, marketers. It helps people to tell presentations like I'm showing now in a more engaging way. People can zoom in into the story and show the same story in a more dimensional way. So we had presentations, charts, and beautiful visuals, and they had beautiful way how people can tell presentations. So we merged our forces. We now are creating more products that help people to tell stories. So Prezi Present is a presentation tool. Video is something that I will use later today. You will see those who are participants of the workshop. So it helps to connect audience and the content, because this video presenter is right next to the content, so it's more engaging, and storyteller can tell the story in a more engaging way. And infogram part that we were building from Riga is now called Prezi Design and is accessible to 10 times bigger audience, because Prezi is 10 times bigger company. It has 10 times more users. The reach is 10 times bigger. The investment that this company has attracted is 10 times bigger. So it was a wonderful lesson how to scale something that you're building for 5 years. Then you merge forces with a bigger company, and then you see that impact is 10 times bigger that you can make when you merge forces with a bigger company. So that was the company building story in a nutshell. What have we achieved, who we are today. So to this day, I'm still working on Prezi Design product from Riga. And Prezi itself, it's a Hungarian based company, a Hungarian built company. It's based in Budapest, and we have offices in San Francisco, Riga, Berlin, and Hungary. So it means that my everyday work from a team of 30 people that was based here in Riga, which is picture on the left top corner, is now 10 times bigger team. It's more than 300 people who are located in different places all over the world. And we connect daily, as we do it now, via Zoom, online meetings, different digital products that we use to connect. So that was also experience to transform from something that we just created here, a team of 3 people, locally grew into a team of 30 people. And now we are part of a global map in terms of global companies who are serving, making products for global audience. So that was also a personal shift from something small to something big in 5 years. So the picture below is how the team looks now. That was the last time we met in person. Now all meetings are just like now we have in Zoom. So that's another fact about how my everyday life has changed in the last few years. So about professional side, by education and early work experiences, I was a graphic designer. Then when I started to work on Infogram and build digital products, I pursued master's studies in a field called human-computer interaction, which might sound like I know how to build cyborgs or robots, like in a picture, but it's an actually scientific term for user experience. So how do we build the products that people understand? How do they use it? How to build human technology, how to test if your technology is something that people understand, they can use. So there are different research methods, a bit of coding experience that I gained there, teams management experience that I got there. So that was my master's studies in Tallinn University. And what I do currently is called the product management. So it's a managing team of designers and engineers, and plan how company goals can be reached with activities that designers and developers do, and how do we build products that users first use, they pay for it, and we make companies successful. So I manage Riga team and it's called product management. So if you have any questions about all these three experiences, if you are looking into career development in this, feel free to reach out to me and ask more. So greetings from my family, if you heard excitement in the background. So yeah, that was about me. And another worthy fact to mention is that I'm part of Riga Tech Girls as well as Anna. And it's an NGO that is doing exactly what we do today. We inspire women and girls to join tech industry. We explain what it is. We organize workshops, meetups, and we teach basic coding skills or any other skills that you need to be successful in the tech industry. So we want to show that the industry is friendly and welcoming, and you all have place in it. So that's Riga Tech Girls. Follow us on Facebook and follow our events. And back to be brave, and the topic that I wanted to bring today. The picture that you see is stars, some zoomed, and I want to sketch a few stars or experiences that I think mapped my professional and personal growth path. And what I want to highlight is that it's not always connected things of events. The metaphor I want to bring is constellations. So you know that like bazillion years ago, stars were born, and then a few centuries ago, astronauts called them constellations. They gave them mythical words, names, and it made sense only like a few centuries ago, and now we're using these constellation terms. But stars are just there by themselves. They were not connected in any how, and they make sense when we look on them from a distance. And I think it's similar with our career and professional milestones. They not necessarily make sense at the moment when they happen, but when we look back, they connect and they make us who we are. So I want to present few things, few learnings that I think made me who I am today, and I can call it a career now, but I didn't necessarily realize it when it was happening. So one thing is okay to be afraid. So it's be brave part. And one example from my personal experience and my personal fear that I still am facing every day, and it's public speech. So it's okay to be afraid of to speak in front of the people, but there's one thing that you have to do it to be better at it. And every other day, every second time that I do it, I fail. And I think there are a bazillion things that I could do better. But from being afraid of the thing, the worst thing is that you stop doing something because you're afraid. And the best thing is take your fear with you and just do it. So that's my recommendation with every fear you have. When you build a startup, when you go out with your idea, there are tons of opportunities to speak in front of the public, present your idea, pitch. So grab all of these opportunities, go in front of your classmates, classroom, speak out, because that's the way how you bring voice to what you believe, what you build, what you think is right. So practice, 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 and you might get better at it, but just take your fear with you and do it. The next star in the constellation is, it's okay not to know where you're heading. It's okay not to know the destination. And there's one example of a really cool startup founder. Her name is Melanie Perkins. And she was a graphic designer, and she built a product that helped students to print yearbooks. So she was a designer, and she thought she's doing a better Photoshop online, and that's what she should be doing. Later, it grew into a product we all know under name Canva. So it's used by 30 million users every month. She's now the youngest billionaire in Australia, and she has raised $3 million in investment. So what in the beginning was graphic design and yearbooks later grew into a $1 billion company called Unicorns in startup world. So I bet on the day one, she didn't know that she will be the youngest billionaire in Australia, but she is. So it's okay not to know where you're heading. It might grow into something big. Next star in the constellation is impact and understanding what is the impact that you create with your product. So in Infogram case, for a really long years, I thought that we're building editor, the product with buttons with the web link that people come in and build the charts, and this is what we do, and this is my impact. As a designer, I can make button blue or green. Later, we realized that the product is actually how we make our customers look like in their environment. So if journalist wants to tell the story better, they create a graph, and they use us to make them look good. So this is the impact that I'm creating. It's how I make my customer look like. Then the same journalists, they told their colleagues to use our product, and we actually impacted the whole way how the whole editor team works. And if we scale this impact up, then what journalists do, good journalists, they try to tell stories and based in facts. And when they do that, they use our product. So it's totally a opposite thing that fake news writers do. So with our product, we even fight for fake news and fact-based news. So the impact is even bigger. So go for high impact instead of doing something small, and realize what is your impact. Next star in constellation is use navigation. You are not alone in this journey. So the proof that you're already doing it is you're part of the program, Future Heroes. So you already are using help that is out there to help you grow. In the startup world, these logos are logos of accelerators. So if you build a tech company, you can join different accelerators that help to shape your idea, coach you, help with public speaking. And this is the help that usually startup founders can get, and they're not alone on their path. If they attract some investment, then investors become coaches, and there's a community that can help you. So use navigation, you're not alone. Join programs like Future Heroes and others, because this will be something that will help you grow. And most importantly, this is the last thing, have fun. When you grow, when you connect your constellation, don't forget to have fun. One example of fun that turned into a benefit was my accidental participation in the thing called hackathon. For those who don't know what is hackathon, it's a 48 hours long event when you can join with your idea, meet team in the event, create a prototype or some business idea, and learn pitch, do teamwork, and in the end of the second day, there's a contest, and jury gives you prizes. So there was one hackathon that for the first time in my life, I joined. We built a game, really simple, fun game, and we won this hackathon. So it was super fun to spend 2 days doing that, and we won money prize. So it was super fun. I didn't think I will do it, but and I didn't think I will win, but I learned a ton, and it was fun in the end. So these are my consolation stars. I hope it was interesting. So it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to practice and fail. It's okay not to know where you're heading. And most importantly, have fun when you do it. Thank you. I didn't hear moderator. Do we have time for questions?
I think we don't have time. It's already 11:22, so probably should start with the other part. So I'm taking over, right? And I'll share my story, and then maybe we can have some questions afterwards. Okay, so here we go. So my name is Andersone. I'm working together with Alise at Riga Tech Girls, and was super interesting to hear Alice's story and these constellations. I think it was a really cool thing, and the main message of not being afraid is something that I want to stress as well. So sometimes I'm being called a serial entrepreneur. I don't like this term very much because to me, serial always like I think the next thing that would follow is serial killer. But so I'm not the serial killer. I'm serial entrepreneur, if you like the term. And I've built a couple of companies. So I'll share my experience with you right now. When I was little. Well, not so little. When I was a teenager and in school, this is how my class looked like. I'm here on the first row, second from the left side. And even back then, I thought that I want to be an entrepreneur. So I want to build something of my own. I want to build a company and products. My father was an entrepreneur, and I felt like it's a fun way to lead your professional life. And you can see here, my class was pretty funny. Everybody was joking around all the time, and I also liked having fun. So this having fun part is also something I want to refer to from Alice's speech. So I wanted to build my own company, but I didn't know what I want to build. So I didn't have an idea or a purpose or anything like that. I didn't have any experience from real life. So after school, what I did is I basically followed half of my class. Half of my class went to study at SSC Riga. And as I didn't know what I want to do, I just went together with them because they were my friends. They were my family actually at that time. So here is kind of a summary of my path, and I'll bring you through it quickly. So up here on the left is the beginning. I started my professional career studying at SSC Riga. I studied economics and business, and I specialized in three fields, which was entrepreneurship, IT, and marketing. And those are the three fields that I landed in afterwards. After SSC Riga, I went to work at Andersone Riga, which is an advertising agency. So I worked there for 5 years and learned a lot about marketing. But I felt like the future is going to be digital, and I want to get into this digital world. So I quit and I built my first company, which is the third step here, Hungry Lab. It's a graphic design studio that we built together with Sundays. And together with Sundays, we also accidentally started our first startup, which is called Berta. And we built Berta for our friends. It came from a need that we noticed that our friends need websites, and we can't build a website for everyone, but we decided to build something that they can use on their own and build a website. So that's how Berta was born. And only a couple of years later, when I was already working at magazine Ir, we made money out of what we had built. So first we built like this social project for our friends. We put it online, it was for free. And then later we realized that people were downloading it in Netherlands and in Spain and all over the world. So we added a payment to it, and we started earning money. But we thought that we want to build something that is unique and innovative in the world, because Berta had a lot of competition. We thought we cannot grow it as like number one in the world. So in 2012, right about the time that Infogram was created, we also started our startup. It's called Frunt. And we co-founded Frunt. We were also 3 co-founders. It was me and Sandis and Andris. And this time we decided that we're building a legitimate startup. We want to raise money. We want to go to accelerators. And we went to work at Tech Hub Riga, where actually I met Alise back in 2012. And I was watching, Alise, your picture of Infogram team. And I noticed there this thing why actually Riga Tech Girls was created afterwards, is that I think I've counted 3 women in your team. It was like all guys and just women. And in co-founders, it was even less women involved. So it was me and you, I think, at that time at Tech Hub. It was very, very few women or girls. We were there at Tech Hub. We were working on our startup. And we were growing. We attracted investments from Finland. And at some point, our team didn't have enough space at Tech Hub. And Infogram also was leaving the space. So what we did, we created our own co-working space. That's the next step, the Mill, which is not so much a company or a business. It's more like a social project. And I noticed that many of you have social projects here that you are working on. We'll talk about that probably in the next part, how to make these social projects sustainable, how to earn money with that. So every time when we want to build something, we always need to think, how are we going to support that financially? So the Mill was a social project, but we wanted to make it self-sustainable so that we don't need to invest in building this environment where people can come together and work together. And we managed to do it for 4 years, but later there was a lot of competition coming in, and we closed the Mill at that place where we started it, in the very heart of Riga, because the rent was going up. Prices were going down for these co-working spaces, and it just didn't make sense financially to continue it. And the next step that we built together actually with Alise is Riga Tech Girls. It's an NGO, but again, we started it because we saw the need for this. So we saw that there are not enough women in tech field. There is a lack of employees, and we need more people here in Latvia to move into tech. But we also need more women, because this is where we can reach a faster growth, and we need diversity for the industry. I think, like, when we started, it was a completely volunteer-based not a company, but a movement and NGO. But things started happening when we managed to attract some funding, and when we could devote more time and attract more people to build this movement. So we'll talk about this again in the next part, but building Riga Tech Girls has been kind of a solution to the situation where I got into. So building Frunt, we attracted 500,000 euros in investment. And Frunt is a professional tool, so it's not meant for the general public, it's meant for professionals. And we got more than 100,000 users worldwide. But what happened was that we had a lot of free users, so we had a freemium business model, and we didn't manage to convert enough of them into paying users. And that created a lot of stress for me and for the whole team. For me, as a person who's responsible for finance and paying the salaries every month, that was a huge issue. All this stress and running the co-working space, the Mill at the same time, building Riga Tech Girls at the same time, and I also have 2 daughters. So all that combined together was a little bit too much for me. So at some point I burned out, Now we probably have heard about this term of burning out. At that time, I didn't know that it was a burnout. I just got really ill. I couldn't get well. So I quit. I had to quit my company and my job to get better. And what I realized was that I burned out because I lost support. So I didn't have support in the company. I was the only mother in that company, and it was really hard. And it's not like somebody is trying to be mean to you. It's just they don't understand how you feel, what are your needs. And as a woman, as a lady, they are a little bit different. So building Riga Tech Girls has been an answer to that, to support other women and girls in pursuing this path. And I built another company. So I decided to quit tech at that point. And I built Be With, which is the company that I'm running now. It's clothing for hugs, so it's not a tech company, but I'm using all the knowledge that I have about tech to get international, to build it faster. And Be With is a product that is an answer to what I felt was missing. So I didn't have support at some point. I didn't feel supported because I realized there was no time for connection at home and with my close ones, not enough time. So Be With, my movement with the Be With is to remind people of the importance of building close and warm relationships and supporting each other in everything that we do, because we can only build great things if we have support. And I couldn't have done Frunt or the Mill or Riga Tech Girls without support of my husband, because yeah, it just doesn't work like that. And now I'm working on a new movement. It's called Viegli kopā būt. It's currently like a Latvian movement that we're building together with a psychologist, Kristīna Baloda. And its main aim is to support couples in building relationships that are easy to maintain and not hard on you. So this has been my path. This is how it looks like. Sites built with Berta, Frunt tool that is made for professional designers, the Mill co-working space, Riga Tech Girls movement, where we get women together sharing their experience about how it is to work in tech, and Be With, the clothing for hugs that has these secret passages where you can touch your partner and feel their skin and connect it at the same time. So that's kind of my story. And I want to finish it off with saying that I think I've never been afraid to take the next step. And it's very important to kind of look around you, see the need for something, but also figure out ways how you can monetize that and how can you make that sustainable in the long run. So yeah, I'm joining Alise in saying that be brave, don't be afraid, and try to find co-founders, try to find people that you can work together with and support each other and build things that will change the world, but that are sustainable and can make money for themselves as well. Thank you. That will be all from me.